Welcome back to SK Hobbies, AZ and I am Stitch. And on this episode, we are going to talk about the upgrades we did for my ARRMA Felony. You're not going to want to miss this, so stay tuned. All right, well, welcome back. So yes, we did some more upgrades on this ARRMA Felony. We added a bunch of Bashequeen parts, and I'll put it up on the right here. Up here of what we did, but let's look underneath here, and what's up there is we did the chassis brace right here. We replaced the front splitter, and we'll look at that. We replaced steering top plate, and we replaced the shock towers. We even replaced the servo, and we put a raw 500 in there, and we replaced the skid plates on the side with carbon fiber. And then we'll talk a little bit what I did with the electronics on it. So, yes, we went through and it was running awesome. We did order a bunch of carbon fiber parts from Bashequeen. And it's just kind of to lighten it up a little bit and to give it a little bit more rigidity in certain areas. So we'll kind of talk about it. So we got the splitter here. You can see on the front, it's a nice carbon fiber. And that's what this bumper right here is called, or this piece here is called the splitter. And it's fairly easy to install. You just got to pull off these 5 right there, those 5. And then you got these guys right here to remove this plate right here going that way. So we did that, and then it's just putting the new one in place and getting it all bolted in. Then we moved forward with the shock towers. So removing the shock towers, pretty simple. You got to kind of pull this front piece off. You got to get into the screws for the diff housing or the bulkhead on the front, and also on the rear. You got to remove all of this stuff to get down. Pulled out the aluminum shock towers on them, which were in decent shape. They were okay, but with wanting to get it a little bit lighter, to get a little bit more speed out of it, we went ahead and went with the carbon fiber shock towers and got those replaced, put everything back together, and then replacing the shock tower brace and going completely carbon fiber on it. Now, when I ordered this, I ordered all of this stuff when I did all of the carbon fiber work for my other ARRMAs, and I ordered it all in one big lot for getting it done, and that's what we did. And then I had an extra raw 500 servo. I always keep one additional on hand as a backup, especially if I got builds coming and whatnot. So we got that installed in here, so it's nice and quick and working good that way. And then the fans. So I went through, and you can see I've got my cooling fan on my motor. So this is the 1650 or the 1717 Castle motor, however you want to call it. And then this is just a 3D printed shroud that I put on it, and got that free off of Thingiverse. So I'll put a link in the description of where I got this from, and you guys will be able to click on it if you want. You got a 3D printer, you can print it. And then got the fan mounted there, and then I removed the original fan off of the Mamba X 8S ESC that I have here, and I got that removed off of there, and I put one of my bigger fans on it. Now these fans are they run at like 18,000 RPM. I will put a link in the description of where you can pick them up, and they pretty much wire directly in, but there is one little caveat, and we're going to show you that. So with that being said, what I did is I'm running a XT90 for my battery, and then I have an XT60 connected up that runs my fan power. And then I made this wire harness right here which you guys can see. I did a little Y harness because you run two 4S batteries in here. And then off of that, I put a voltage regulator in. And I'll put a link in the description and a picture of it right here of the voltage regulator that I used. And they weren't that expensive. And basically, it's got a potentiometer in it, or a variable resistor. So you can adjust your output voltage. Doesn't really matter how high. You can have a 6S battery on this and then adjust your voltage down and set it. So with this and these fans, they run optimal off of 12 volts. So I adjusted this down to where my output voltage was 12 volts, and it allows 12 volts to pass no matter what battery I put in. So I've tried it with the 4S, I've tried it 3S, I've tried it 2S, and it goes to the max voltage. Now on 2S, you're not really getting enough because you're only getting a little over 7 volts. So it still runs the fan, but in this type of car, you're not going to be running it off of a 2S battery anyways. This system is designed to run 8S, but you can run it off of 6S. You can put two 3S batteries in here and it'll still run the system. And I've done that numerous times before I went to 8S on this. And it runs both of these fans. These fans are wired up in parallel with each other, so they're both getting that 12 volt drop. And that's done with wiring from this fan connected up with this fan going into the one leads coming up right here to this connector. And then this connector, and I designed this so I can pull this out, I can pull this electronics out, and I can move it to another RC if I wanted to. And then this is just zip tied to my carbon fiber chassis brace. So I have a quick disconnect on this. Also, I can disconnect this. So if I have batteries connected up and I don't have this thing powered on yet, these fans will just constantly run as soon as I connect it. So I can disconnect here. Some people like to put a switch in it. You can put a switch in it if you want. I leave that up to you. But on me, it's just easy. I've got these XT60s on here. They connect up pretty easy. And then I'm able to run my two 4S batteries or two 3S batteries and still be able to produce the 12 volts that I need to run both of these fans. I'm not really seeing a lot of voltage draw on the batteries to reduce it anymore. I'm still getting probably about 35 minutes of runtime on this. And we will get another video going of this bad boy running, and we will go from there. So I think that's about it. That's what we did on the upgrades. Stay tuned for a run video on it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bash that bell. I am Stitch, SK Hobbies AZ. I'm out.